big body whipping piece of shit from out the graveyard. You never had a shot, even with a million AR and a million A&R. There to represent you. This life is a battle, turn my pencil to my pistol. I turn my issues into missiles, and there will be no misuse. I promise that they won't miss you. I'm doing mental jujitsu behind presidential tent inside the Lincoln Continental. I'm still within ill intent till they kill me or put it into the serial killing, criminal murdering instrumentals. If my music doesn't fit you, then fuck you. I make shit for real people and they pit.
All right, what's up, guys? This is Zach, Steven, and Colin here. All Impact, No Filter podcast. We're back to start off the new year with another episode back at the UFC action. We're going to do our 2024 UFC awards. We're going to go over some predictions for 2025, and we're going to look at some of the fights that we'd like to see or that we may be actually seeing in 2025 in the next couple months. We've got a big pay-per-view coming up, big fight night coming up, and we're going to give what's due to those who we've seen done good throughout the 2024 year. So we're going to give some of our awards. Colin, you want to start? Which one do you want to start with?
Yep, I want to go ahead and start back
topic?
With the comeback of the year for Mr. Dominic Reyes.
Dominic, yeah.
He had the KO over Dustin Jacoby in UFC Louisville, and he also knocked out Anthony Smith in the second round. Coming from a lot of losses in the past, pretty much ever since he fought John Jones, he hasn't been the same Dominic Reyes, and now we're starting to get to see Dominic Reyes as the person that we saw before he fought John Jones. So I'm really hoping that he'll continue with this streak of KOs and he's found his rhythm here. But with Dustin Jacoby and Anthony Smith, they're not really dangerous competitors. So I'm actually excited to see what happens next for Dominic Reyes.
And we got to see him live. That was a good one, too.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. Louisville. Yeah, that's what I got the Nashville on.
Nashville, Louisville.
Yeah. Sanhagen and Font. Yeah, that's a good one. Dominic Reyes, he's looked really good. He kind of disappeared for a while after the whole John Jones thing, fell off for a while, lost a lot of fights, and then he's been on like a really good resurgence. And I know seeing how happy he was winning at UFC Louisville, being there, and you just felt the emotion of how happy he was to finally win, and not only win, but
broke the curse.
Yeah, in a dominant way, and then to turn around and do it again to Anthony Smith, which that was a weird fight, but
yeah,
still he did it. All props to him. All right, comeback of the year. Let's do newcomer of the year. Who'd you have for newcomer of the year?
Newcomer of the year, I have Carlos Prates.
Carlos Prates.
He defeated Trevin Giles in his debut. KOs Charles Radke by body knee at UFC Louisville. We saw that live. And then first fighter to knock out Li Jingliang, or the Leech. And then first round KO to Neil Magny. Sets in a pretty good year for the newcomer Carlos, the Nightmare Prates.
So I had, why did I do that? So there was three I wanted to just talk about. Oban Elliott, he's done really good. Carlos Prates, like you said, he was really good, but I actually did one of his teammates, John Lord
Silva. Hell yeah.
I was trying to pull up some of his stats real quick because
he finished Charles Air Jourdain and Drew Dober within 2 weeks. He finished Charles Air Jourdain, and then it literally had a week off, and then the next week after that, he butchered Drew Dober.
Part of the Fighting Nerds. So, yeah, 2024, 3 wins as well as Carlos Prates, same team, Fighting Nerds, they're killing it. He also had a round 1 stoppage against Wilson had a round 2 stoppage against Jourdain and had a round 3 stoppage, doctor stoppage to Drew Dober, which was the most recent one in July.
Yeah, and those were 2 weeks apart.
They're them boys are definitely killing it. But Carlos Prates got a lot of love, but I don't know. Since we watched that one fight with John Silva here and Gene Silva, however you pronounce it. I'm saying that right, Gene Silva. Yeah.
John Silva.
John, Gene, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, the Fighting Nerds, they've been on fire. Great team.
Next for Carlos Prates, I would love to see him fight Jeff Neal. Just because after fighting Neil Magny, knocking Neil Magny out, I think a good test for him would be Jeff Neal.
Did he have?
They're both people that would knock people out, so it would be great to see their two styles back to back.
Maybe I didn't see him. So on Silva does have a fight coming up against Melsick. When was that? February 22nd is when Silva fights again. He does have another fight booked. I could have swore. No, Carlos Prates. I don't have him down with the fight. Yeah, I'm excited to see both of them again, though. That whole team has been really good. Which you have a Team of the Year award. Who did you have for Team of the Year? That's a good little
Team of the Year. I have the Fight Nerds.
Yep, that's what I assumed. That's what I figured.
Yeah, I have their best moments put down. Well, for me, their best moments: Carlos Prates with the KO over Charles Radke, because that was fucking awesome, and we were there live to see it.
Yep.
Mauricio Rufy with the look off uppercut to Yontop.
Yeah,
that shit was so cool, and just the way that he fights. He's probably my favorite one out of all the Fight Nerds, Mauricio Rufy. He's just flows, dude. And then John Lord Silva, of course, finishes Air Jourdain and Dober within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He fought Jourdain June 29th of 2024. And then Dober versus Silva was July 13th, 2024.
That's
so
a fast turnaround.
That's very, very cool to me. I also have Caio Borralho, Paul Craig KO, Cannoneer War, and what's next for Caio Borralho, because it has been a minute and we haven't seen anything come out about him.
Yeah, that's some stuff I wrote down too for later to talk about. I got some, you know what I mean? What could happen? He's definitely one that I'm excited to see next year.
Yeah, he's definitely up and coming, and I would definitely like to see him fight someone in the top 5.
So let's do Team of the Year. Goes to the Fighting Nerds. Of course, they've been on fire. I think all of them have been dominant. Let's do Fight of the Year. Who'd you have for Fight of the Year?
Fight of the Year is Gaethje versus Holloway.
Gaethje versus Holloway. Yeah, that was a good one. The last second knockout.
UFC 300 co-main for the BMF title. Last second KO, and Max was the underdog.
Yeah, no one expected Max to have power like that. But he was knocking people out up to that point. Like, he was doing good. He had knocked out the Korean.
Gaethje had just knocked out Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. With the head kick.
He beat Max twice. Dustin beat Max twice. So that was. I don't think MMA math don't work.
I feel like everyone expected Max to point at the ground at the last 10 seconds, but I don't think anybody expected just that 1 second overhand right to just clock him. It's nasty.
Face planted him.
So I had Daniel Zellhuber and Rivovic, the UFC 306 at the Sphere. It was a crazy one. The Sphere was just a crazy freaking card. Both of them were wild. Yeah, went to split decision. It was definitely a split decision for Ribovic. But I also had an honorable mention for Gamrot and Dan Hooker. feel like every time Dan Hooker fights, he's a dog. And I was just watching some of them highlights back the other day, and it was just like hard not to want to bring it up. It's a pretty good one.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that Gamrot has a win over Saryukian, but he lost to Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Dan Hooker's fighting his way back up.
Next, I got Fighter of the Year, Alex Pereira, of course. Everybody has this debated between Ilya and Alex, but UFC 300 knocking out Jamal Hill in the first round with a broke toe is pretty impressive. Fighting at 303 on short notice versus Yuri and KOing him was very impressive. And then 307, Khalil Roundtree Jr. KOs him, and that was just a freaking war. Khalil caught him, and he looked away, and then came right back to it. And then after that, it was just on. Alex Pereira was just piecing him up the entire time.
Oh yeah, you could tell once he like turned it on, he like turned it on. Like it was just a matter of time for Khalil's against the cage and just crippled.
But yeah, I got to give it to Alex Pereira. Such short notices, and those were all title defenses too. It wasn't like, I think that's probably how he got it. Yeah, how he got it over Ilya was just for these to all be title defenses on such short notice and to win them by KO.
So I pretty much agree with you. I had Alex as one and Ilya as two. I mean, Alex, like you said, is just a monster. And you got to mention Ilya. I mean, who knocks out Volkanovski and Max Holloway in 1 year. And in that short amount of time, I mean, he didn't spend that much time in there with either one of them. And like we were talking about before, like he struggled with his upcoming fights. Like they looked a lot harder. Then once he got to the title fights, he's like dropping them. Like,
yeah, no problem.
Got to give him the credit for it. I mean, he's put Spain on the map. Dana says they're going to Spain. He's walking around with so much confidence and swagger, and
it's like the only way. It seems like the only way to beat him is to not stand with him, but it's
like we were talking about that the Bryce Mitchell fight. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell is like a ground game specialist. Like that's what his main thing is, ground game, and
he got submitted.
Yeah, still got him. All right, women's fighter of the year. Who'd you do for women's fighter of the year?
Kayla Harrison.
Yep, I agree.
I got her 300 Holly Holm victory and 307 versus Caitlin Vieira. I need to see her versus Juliana Pena. If Amanda Nunes doesn't come back, I would love to see Kayla Harrison fight Juliana Pena. And that is also who I think will be the Ultimate Fighter coaches this year. We lost a little bit of integrity with the Chandler versus Connor Ultimate Fighter. I just don't see anybody else doing it. Pantoja doesn't have anyone to fight. Marab and Umar are too busy training for each other, and then after that fight, it's probably going to be Piotr Jan. So I don't see them being the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And then we have Ilya and Diego or Ivlov. I don't see either one of them.
Yeah,
so
who's next?
Yeah, and then there's like Dricus and Bilal and
but
John Jones
are already
going to do it
too. It would be a fight that's not even scheduled yet. Like
Pereira, I don't see Pereira doing it.
Not enough English.
So I think it's got to come down to Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison.
Yeah,
and it's going to build. One. It's going to build that women's fight up. But like they're going to be talking shit to each other during the Ultimate Fighter.
Hopefully they fight though. Like you said, I feel like they've lost some integrity with the Connor thing, not fighting Michael Chandler. Like that is the whole point in the Ultimate Fighter, not to get like distracted,
train, and then coach fight at the end.
It's not been the same. So I agree with you. Women's Fighter of the Year, I had Kayla as well, but I went one step further. My non-UFC Women's Fighter of the Year, just because I think this girl is better than half the women in the UFC, and I'd love to see her in the UFC, but it's Dakota Ditchva. I've talked about her for a while. She's in the PFL. She's 26 years old. She's a flyweight. She's 14-0 with 12 knockouts and 1 submission. She's been on fire. Just in the past 2 years alone, in 2022, she won the PFL World Championship tournament, turned around again in 2023, undefeated, won the Europe PFL tournament championship, and just again in November, turned around again this year and won the 2024 PFL World Championship tournament again over Tyla Santos in round 2 by knockout. She's been a monster. Her couple fights ago, she hit this girl so hard in the body, one body shot, one left hand to the body. She is a mean striker, man. This girl just crumbled. I just want to give her some props because she is nasty, even in the PFL. I mean, that's why I feel like she'd do so well in the UFC, is that she like eats these girls in the PFL alive. Like, some UFC would be a good test for her. And 3 years in a row, you went undefeated and won your tournament and your company. She works for the PFL, but she's pretty much owned the PFL 3 years in a row in that division. So props to her, not only this year, but for 3 consecutive years of destroying everyone they've put in front of her.
I'm sure UFC's got their eyes on her. So it's just a matter of time until she comes over.
Yeah, she could do anything, man. She's a nasty striker. And flyweight, I mean, that's right up the alley. They like them smaller ones. They don't like the bigger classes when it comes to the women.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you want to do next?
Sub of the year. I
Sub
got
of the year.
Dricus du Plessis over Izzy. Izzy's comeback fight after losing to Strickland. It had been a while since we've seen Israel Adesanya fight. Everybody thought Izzy was going to go into this as the winner. I didn't see most people thinking that Dricus was going to win. And Dricus totally dominated Izzy and finished him by submission. So I don't know, maybe not the best submission that we've seen all year, but definitely the most important. Yeah, like he closed the chapter with Izzy.
Yeah, because that went on. It was like a rivalry that went on for a while, and they were supposed to fight but didn't fight. He ended up fighting Sean, and then he lost. So then Sean was the champion. It just it kind of drug out. My sub of the year, I went with Hamzat versus Robert Whitaker, the face crank. It was just nasty. I mean, Hamzat's always been like a tank, but then you don't expect him to do something like that to Robert Whitaker, which after the fight you find out he had pre-existing medical stuff, but just to do something like that to somebody is insane. And I know it's Steven's submission.
And to Robert Whitaker, the fucking Reaper.
Yeah.
It took longer for Dricus to knock fucking Robert Whitaker out than it did for Hamzat to beat him.
Just to get him to the ground and strangle him
immediately.
Now, the only reason why I say Patty versus King was the sub of the year, just because it won me money against Colin.
Yeah.
You know, Colin was talking up King the entire fucking week. And
it was.
Look what happened. Round 1 triangle.
Well, to be fair,
against Patty, dude. Like,
to be fair, Patty had only fought Jared Gordon and robbed Jared Gordon of a win, and then he fought Tony Ferguson and didn't even finish Tony Ferguson. So
that was like
for him to come out and finish Bobby Green, that was fucking rare to me. Like in my head, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Oh, Patty the baddie! Hey, he's a star, bro.
I'm glad that it happened, dude. I am glad that it happened because I like to see that Patty's up there now and getting the news that he's fighting Chandler at UFC London.
Yeah,
that is gonna be a banger.
Here, I wonder if there's any.
I've seen a bunch of things about it, but I don't know if it's 100% set in stone.
We'll Google it real quick.
Michael Chandler versus Patty.
I've seen the things
Michael
all over
Chandler
Facebook.
versus Patty the Baddie.
Oh no.
Patty versus Chandler.
Bobby Green was easy for Patty.
And it says UFC London, so it should be the same card. We get Jack Della Maddalena versus Leon Rocky Edwards, hopefully.
Yeah, it just says Patty Pimlet hints that huge UFC fight is up
Oh yeah, because he
next.
said see you at the top.
Yeah, yeah, that was his post. I remember now. There's nothing
He
from
was
the
supposed to fight
UFC.
Benoit Saint Denis. That's who it was like officialized for was Benoit Saint Denis, but
Who, Patty?
yeah.
Oh,
That's Supreme Fit. No, that's not real. Yeah, there's nothing from UFC that says it's like signed and legit yet, but
But that'd be a badass fight if it's set in stone.
yeah. Okay, sub of the year. Let's do we do knockout of the year? No, I don't think we did. Let's do knockout of the year.
Alex and
2024
Jamal.
knockout of the year.
Alex and Jamal, dude. What Alex did to
24
Jamal
knockout of the year.
was pretty embarrassing.
Alex
For
versus
Jamal.
Jamal. Yeah, that was the
Got
hold on,
Yeah.
ref.
Back up,
Hold on,
Herb.
Herb. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got for best moment of the year was Alex denies ref intervention, KOs Hill, and memes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's probably best moment would be better than knockout of
But
the year.
my favorite, the best KO of the year is fucking Max Holloway versus Justin
Justin
Gaethje.
Gaethje.
Yeah.
I've never jumped so high. I've never screamed so loud than that fucking night in your fucking garage.
While Zach
And
was throwing up.
you weren't even in there,
I know.
dude.
I know.
It was even more of a oh my god moment.
Why
Like-
did he miss this? Why do you have to be puking right now?
Literally, it was like right as they were walking out that you left the room or whatever, and then that happened. That was insane.
Okay, my KO of the year, obviously, I brought up Alex, either versus Yuri or Jamal. They were both nasty. We've already talked about Ilya knocking out Max and Volk. You brought up Justin versus Max, the Max knockout. They're all crazy. I fortunately didn't get to witness the Max and Justin KO firsthand, so I felt like it wasn't wrong for me to pick that. So my KO of the year, I went with Bruno Ferreira versus Dustin Stolfoots for the spinning back elbow, just because I was there live. That was my jump up. Holy shit. Like in the stadium, you didn't expect it. Dude was swinging, and just that spinning back elbow at the KFC Center live while we were there.
He was
Colin's
trying to
wearing the
play it
shirt.
off. He was trying to
He
play it
went
off so
down.
good.
Yeah,
He
Jason
was
Herzog
like,
picked him up.
and he was wobbling.
Yeah, he's like, nope, you're done, dude, you're done. Because he hit the ground and got right back up, but his right back up wasn't very sturdy at all.
Yeah, he was wobbly. Like what?
It
But
was
he
a nasty
definitely done.
dude.
It was done.
It's actually one of the ones that I got the clips of. I mean, it was insane. I mean, just if I didn't expect it. That's why my camera kind of went a little sideways because I jumped up a lot faster than I could worry about keeping my camera angle straight. Because as soon as I seen it, dude, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Definitely
that
a
was
bunch
good
of
one.
great knockouts this year, dude. I mean, that's probably one of the best part about the UFC is seeing the wars, the knockouts, and the subs. Those are probably the three best ones that you can do.
We've even seen a few broken bones this year.
Yeah, some nasty broken bones. Okay,
Most
so
improved fighter. Who do you got for most improved fighter?
I didn't do most improved, but if I would have to, I would have to say Dominic.
Dominic Reyes. I
Yeah.
got for most improved fighter Dan Hooker
Yeah, that would be a good one
because he
too.
went
Dan
in to
Hooker would be
fight
a really good one.
Gamrot and was literally the biggest underdog. Like
Yeah.
no one thought. I almost didn't even watch the fight just because, but I did watch it.
Is that the fight he broke his hand or broke his wrist? I remember he was walking around with a cast on forever after that, and he was just like, "It ain't nothing." Like he knew
I
he
don't
broke
think
it in the
so.
fight. Maybe it was
But
the one
maybe.
before that.
But yeah, dude, to stop all the fucking takedowns and just fighting.
He's a dog.
He pulled it out, and yeah, to see him win over someone that big,
Yeah,
I would
against
love to see
Gamrot.
him get someone big next.
Oh, I feel
Like
like
I
big
really
name
want to
fight for
see
him
him fight
next for
Justin
sure.
Gaethje next because we haven't seen that, and it's going to be a very, very good fight.
Yeah, Justin's coming off a loss. Dan's coming off a win. It's the way it works.
Best card of 2024.
300.
I have 300. Yep.
Yeah,
It
I'd
was
have to
just
agree.
jam packed. Second runner up would be the Sphere just because of how the environment was and the fights that we got,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
it's got to be 300.
Yeah, I'd agree. What other?
Um, Real quick before we have to switch over,
Yeah, say what
it
other
would just
awards do you
be
got?
that was the last one. Was just the best card of 300. We got the Whaley War,
Yeah,
King Green's masterclass over Jim Miller, Kayla Harrison debut, Bo Nichols subs Cody Brundage, Figgy subs Cody Garbrandt, Yuri KO's Rakic, and Armand beats Charles Oliveira, and he throws that sick axe kick.
yeah. I've seen that. How fast he gets that thing up there and down, dude. It's unreal.
It was
Literally.
insane.
All
But
right, guys.
yeah, that was great.
Those are our 2024 awards. Oh yeah, I want to bring one more thing up too about another fighter. So this fighter didn't debut in 2024. He actually debuted in 2023, but it was late 2023. He made his debut in November of 2023. But Peyton Talbot, dude, Peyton Talbot had one fight in 2023, turns around two more fights in 2024, both March and June, both by KO. And his most recent in June only took him 19 seconds. Dude, he literally went online and told this kid how to beat him, what to do to beat him. That kid tried it. And as soon as he tried it, he destroyed him. Like he was waiting for, he literally set him up. And I don't know if the kid was dumb enough to actually, which I don't want to say kid, he's a man, but if he was dumb enough to actually fall for it and do what he was like, hey, if you want to beat me, do this against me. Or if I don't know, but dude, he did it and Peyton was ready for it and destroyed him. But he does have a fight coming up at UFC 311. I didn't realize that until I was going through looking at some of his stats and stuff, but
Yep.
definitely
Next pay-per-view.
excited to see him come fight again. Uh, yeah, let's
Maybe
take a
this will be
break.
his last time on the prelims.
Oh, he's got to be, and that's well, I want to talk about that more too because how much more until he's top 15? You know what I mean? Like when's he going to be ranked? Because he definitely deserves it. He's one of those people that I feel like they're going to take a little bit of time with because they don't want to overdo him. But he's becoming a star so fast that you have to keep getting him higher names and higher names just to keep people interested in watching him do what he's doing.
Yeah.
But all right, let's take a break real quick and we'll be right back. Hey, we're back now. I'm good. Let's go. Okay.
Fights we want to see in 2025 here at All Impact, no filter.
2025 fights on the horizon. Who do you want to see? Who are we going to see? What are we going to see? What kind of events are we going to see? There's
I
a
have
lot.
one for the flyweight division. That's the only one I got. Oh wait, no, actually, I got another one I threw in there. Steve Urseg versus Tatsuro Taira. Steve Urseg coming off a KO loss to Kai Kara France, and Tatsuro Taira coming off a decision loss to Brandon Rival.
The two I had down, I didn't have people versus people. I have Pantoja versus who? Like who even is there for Pantoja to fight in 2025? That was one that I was looking at the rankings and just trying to figure out like what kind of fights would you make, and I'm not really sure who he would fight right now. And
It keeps going back to Brandon Moreno or Brandon Royval.
yeah, I mean that's what I was going to say. Those are the only two that I can really think that makes sense just because they're the only two with names at this point. Like you're going to keep putting him in there with people, but we could all be wrong. They just brought somebody in that wasn't even in the UFC for his debut against him. So that was just a big question I had was Pantoja versus who, and also Kai Car France versus who, because I like Kai. He started out really well. He's been in some trouble lately. He hasn't looked the greatest, but he's done fought quite a few of the people in the top five,
I
top
got
10.
it.
So who's
I
he
got it.
fighting?
I got Kai. That's my second one. And it is Kai Kara versus Amir Albazi.
I was
They
thinking
both are
that,
off a Brandon Moreno loss.
and I think Albazi beat him the first time. They've fought once already, I'm pretty sure.
But with him knocking out Steve Irsig and Amir Albazi coming off a loss to Brandon Moreno, I think it'd be a good time to set that one back up
Yeah,
just to
well,
see.
at this point, I feel like almost no matter what you make or no matter what fight you make, it's going to be a rematch. I feel like
Yeah,
it's got to
I feel like
for
it's
a majority
inevitable.
of people, it's going to be a rematch because they've all fought each other at this point because it's been the same group of people for a
But yeah,
minute.
I think they should do, since they're doing Cap versus Royval, the winner of that should fight Pantoja, regardless, because
That
Royval,
makes
they
sense.
already threw Tyra at him, undefeated prospect they thought was going to run through him. He beat him. If he goes through Manel Cap, that he needs to get the title shot again. And then I think Kai Car France versus Amir Albazi, the winner of that fights Brandon Moreno for a number one for the next title shot. And then during that time, we can build up some people for the next
That's what they're going to have to do, and
fight. But
that's why I had one of my suggestions for the Ultimate Fighter. I definitely had flyweight, and again Pantoja versus who, but I feel like that's one division. Not only like who's going to be the captain, because it can be the captain. The two divisions or two weight classes that are in the Ultimate Fighter don't have to be that captain's division or weight class. You
Manel
know what I mean?
Cap, if Manel Cap wins, he is not going to be an Ultimate Fighter.
No, I don't think he can be censored enough. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. He's another one of those Sean Strickland characters.
but I think Royval versus Cap is going to be a fucking banger. I think that's going to be because they're both. We're going to see who wants it more because those motherfuckers are coming to fucking swing and bang. And Royval's fast as fuck,
Yeah,
and
he is.
Cap is also fast as fuck.
Yeah, he
So
is.
it's going to be non-stop fucking speed.
Yep.
It really comes down to
Bantamweight.
who wants it more. Bantamweight? Yeah, let's get into
Bantamweight.
bantamweight.
What you got for bantamweight?
I have a bunch of them for bantamweight. I
So do
have
I.
O'Malley versus Sandman.
Yep.
I got to see that fight.
I had O'Malley back. I want to see O'Malley back. I put down three options. Peter again, Sandhagen, like you, or even Figgy. I'd like to see him against Figgy. Any of
O'Malley
those
versus
three,
Figgy.
any of those
Well,
three would be good for me.
I don't know. Figgy is a little bit. I don't know. I think at this point, Sandman and Figgy, it could go the same way because they're both kind of doing the same thing. Like they both got strikes now and ground
Grappling,
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
But I would rather see O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen just because they're both kind of the same stature, and everybody's been dying to see that
I was
fight
about to say
forever.
that's been one that people's been talking about for a while that people's been wanting to see.
I would love to see that fight be made in 2025. Also, I have Piotr Jan versus the winner of the title, Umar versus Marab, because Piotr Jan just defeated Figgy.
Figgy, yep.
Um, he beat Song Yadong.
Yep.
Who else? Who else does he have to fight? Who he hasn't fought already? You know what I mean?
That's what I said. The only other thing he could do is like another shot with O'Malley, unless he gets like
Yeah,
unless like O'Malley gets the next title shot, which I don't see happening unless he fights
I
someone
don't want to
else.
see that.
before then, yeah, I feel like he's gonna have to fight somebody else first.
especially if
But
it's Umar. If it's Umar, I do not want to see that. It'll
yeah,
just be
it's just
him
gonna
on the
be a
ground the whole
holding.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it makes
Uh,
sense. Peter's been on a tear.
but yeah, Piotr Jan has been looking great. I do want to see him. I think he'll be the next one for the title. Next, I want to see Henry Cejudo
Triple
versus
C.
Marlon Cheeto Vera.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
That fight was booked and it was canceled, and we never got to see it. But at this point, the way they both are in their careers, I would love to see them both fight each other. We know that Cheeto can withstand punches and can't be knocked out, so it would also be great to see Triple C come in and fight him with like that.
What do you got in that one?
It could go either way. That's what I'm
I
saying.
I feel like I got Cheeto all day.
I don't.
You
I feel
don't?
like Cejudo could do it, dude. I feel like he because Cheeto's ground game is just not the best. You know what I mean?
I just
He
don't feel
cannot
like
be knocked out, but he can
I
get
just don't feel like
dominated.
Henry Cejudo's heart's in it. You can't retire, unretire, retire, unretire, and
I don't know.
I mean you
He
could
looked
be.
good against Aljo.
Yeah,
He just wasn't championship good.
yeah,
And that was his first fight coming back from retirement. Was that well? Was it or no? It was somebody else, right? Marab.
yeah. I think he fought Marab first because Marab picked him up over his shoulder and walked him across the
I thought that
cage,
was
and
second though. I thought Aljo beat him first, then Marab fighting.
I don't remember. Or no, I think Marab fought him first, and then wasn't. No, the championship was Peter and Aljo.
But yeah, anyways, I just want to see. I think that fight would be like the most even matched fight to make right now in that division. Also, for the next one that I have, do you have any more for that division?
For bantamweight, I got Peyton Talbot versus Rayoni coming up. That's going to be a good fight. But then again, like how much longer until he's going to be in the top 15? Because neither of these guys are ranked. I don't think. I'm not even sure who the Rayoni dude is.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He's
saying
not a
too.
familiar name, so that's why I'm assuming he's not ranked. But if he gets past this guy, like maybe give him somebody in like the top 20, top 25, somebody with a name that we know a little bit better. Give him some kind of like little
Song
bit of,
Yudong.
yeah, give him somebody and then start working him into like the top 15, top 10. Like I feel like they're
I
he's
think
really
actually
good. I want to see more
Peyton
of him.
Talbot versus Kyler Phillips. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah, that would be a good one. He's what, like 13, 12 or 13 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Kyler Phillips just lost Rob Font.
Yeah. He knocked him down a little bit. I remember looking at the rankings. I'm pretty sure he was like 10 to 15 in there somewhere. But
And
yeah,
I also have Marcus McGee versus Song Yadong. I want to see Marcus McGee break into the rankings. And then I also have Mario Bautista versus Figgy. They're
that'd be a
both
good one.
the way that they both like to be on the ground and fight people like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good fight. They'd probably end up being in a stand-up war, and I could see it going either way, depending on the takedown defense and what they're trying to do with it. But I think that would be a great fight for the bantamweight division. Mario's up and coming. Figgy just lost a close decision with Piotr Jan. It'd be a great chance for Mario Batista to get up further into the rankings. I know he just beat Jose Aldo, but I feel like his stock went down after that fight. So to
yeah.
see him fight Figgy, if he beats him, that would put him up into probably the top five.
The bantamweight division definitely has a lot of good names in it right now.
Yeah, it's pretty stacked.
All right,
But that's all I
featherweight.
have. Yep, that's all I got for bantamweight. Moving on to featherweight. Who you got?
So I got Ilya versus Volk or Diego. I want to see Ilya versus Diego, but then Diego kind of got the shoulder the last pay-per-view, the cold shoulder, and they walked Volk in for the face off, and he told Volk he wanted to face him, but everyone kind of before that was like Diego's next. So I'm just
I
excited
don't
to
even see
see.
Diego being next though, because if Loyev has a win over Diego, I mean, I know Diego's been coming up and he's been looking clean, but so is Evloev. He hasn't lost. He is undefeated. He just fought
I was
Aljo.
about to say he just beat Aljo, so
If
maybe
not
he's
Volk, I
next.
think it's got to be Evloev. So I think they need to set something up with Diego to fight. Either they're going to do Volk and Ilya rematch and do Evloev and Diego #1 contender fight rematch, or they're just going to do. I just don't see any other fights for Diego or Evloev in the top five. You know what I mean? They're already up there so far. The only other people they would have to fight would be Max or
But
Yair.
Max is also ranked at lightweight too. So is Max even going to go back down to featherweight?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Because he's ranked in both right now.
But I mean, we've seen him lose 3 times to Volk and still stay in featherweight. So I don't see him losing one fight to Ilya and just
Yeah.
packing it up.
I think it was just the weight cut. I think he was just tired of making the weight cut. But
I have,
lightweight's no better.
yeah, lightweight's no better, but still, you got killers in lightweight, you got killers in featherweight. It's a good time for both of those divisions.
Yeah, but other than the championship talk, I'd like to see Josh Emmett back. I mean, Josh Emmett, we haven't seen him since the knockout of Bryce Mitchell, and we've
Yep.
seen Bryce Mitchell back since then, and Bryce Mitchell took a long time off. And then
That's the thing with Josh Emmett though too, is because he has already fought pretty much everyone in the top 10.
yeah,
Either it would have to be a rematch. I don't there's like nobody there for him to actually fight that he hasn't fought
I
already.
just don't really see him fighting backwards again. I mean, usually after you get a win from someone behind you, you're trying to like fight
Fight
again
forward,
forwards. But
yeah.
he's been off so long, maybe they do just give him like one or two up or one or two down. You
And
know
the
what I
way
mean?
that he knocked Bryce Mitchell out,
Was scary. It was nasty,
it was
scary.
insane. Yeah.
And then yeah, Max, I got Max is he at featherweight or lightweight? That's kind of where I left Max because I'd like to see him against several people at featherweight, but then you'd also like to see him against several people at lightweight. So
Yep.
Max can really go either way. And then the last matchup for
Featherweight.
featherweight, I got Silva that we talked about earlier against Malesic. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Coming
John
up.
Lord Silva versus
Yep.
Malik.
He's one
I
that I
have,
was looking forward to and didn't realize he had a fight until I was looking up stuff and realized that he
yeah,
does
I
have
didn't
one
know until you
scheduled.
said that earlier
Yeah.
too. I have Volk versus Lopez, just because I think I after Volk getting knocked out like that 2 times in a row,
All
I
championship
think
fights.
I think Volk needs a refresher fight. I don't think he needs to go right back into the
Just
title
a
fight and
step
get knocked
back.
out again. Yeah,
Just
just
one
one
step.
fight.
Yeah.
And then one fight, if he wins, boom, go right to the title fight. But
Yeah.
putting him right back in there with that fucking shark, he's gonna get bit again.
Yeah.
So I think Volk versus Lopez would be the fight to make. Let Ilya versus Evloev, because Evloev has great takedowns. He's very skilled in all things on the ground. Ilya, we haven't really seen much of him on the ground. Bryce Mitchell took him down. So I would like to
Yeah.
see him be tested with someone that is fighting on the ground and gives him more of a threat on the ground than to fight these guys that are just going to stand with him, and then he's going to get that lucky punch and
Yeah.
KO.
Clock him cold.
So it would be better to fight for, in my opinion, for him to fight Evloev. If he beats him, then boom, you're like, hey, there's nobody else really in this division, and then he'll fight Volk or Diego. But after beating, if he beats Evloev, I think those are two easy fights for him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Evloev's already beat Diego. he's already beat Volk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my opinion. Also, I think Ilya should move up to lightweight and fight Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
I
I have
think
that as
that would
well.
both of them standing and banging. I think that would be a great fight, and we could see because he just beat Max. So with him beating Max, Dustin has beat Max twice, but it wasn't by finish. So I think that would be a good fight to make for him to step up as well.
I don't
But I
know
really want to see the
if
Evloev though.
Ilya don't lose his belt, like if Ilya wins out, right, and then goes up to lightweight, he's fighting whoever has a lightweight championship. Like I don't see him going up and fighting like a top five. He's a champion. He's going to go fight the champion. I feel like they're going to. I don't know. They're going to do
I
champion
just don't
versus
know. I think.
champion.
I mean, I know they
And
probably will, but I
he's
think
already
that he
talked
should do
about
at
being a
least.
three-weight division champion too. He
Well,
wants to
he
be.
already mentioned Charles Oliveira, so he doesn't want to immediately step to fight Makachev.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right because he's talking about. Well, I don't know how he would do it because he's saying he don't like. I don't know. I don't know. They're all just rumors, but what I've seen was that he may not even fight at 150 or 145 again. Like he was talking about not even wanting to fight at featherweight again. Like
I mean, he
he
wouldn't have
defended,
to.
yeah, he done
He
defended his title.
he took the belt off of the champ
Yeah,
of the featherweight division, and then KO's the fucking number one guy that's been basically fighting back and forth for the title and losing to the guy he just knocked out.
for a
So
decade. Yeah,
that's the only reason that I say Evloev
yeah.
next
If
because
yeah,
of that.
so
Everybody he stands with, he beats.
if he just I see what you're saying though. I feel like if he just is like I'm done at featherweight and I'm going up and he don't care about like the double champ status, he just wants to be champ and two, you know what I mean, like the two division champ. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like if he has no plans of going back down to 145 and you want to just let your belt go and go up to the next division. I don't know, but it's all money too. Like you don't want to go and be the B side on the card because now you're the smaller guy. He's getting a bigger purse. Like if you keep your belt and you go champ versus champ, then because say Armin wins and then he wants to go up and fight Armin, like Ilya versus Armin Sarukian or something. Like that way they both get pay-per-view points because there's just a business aspect to it too, other than just fighting. Like they want to make as much money as possible too. And the only way you're going to do that is if you have a belt on your shoulder. So if you just relinquish your belt and then go up, you're going to make less than you would if you was to have the belt on your shoulder.
Champ. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
And they'd
It's
have
all
to too, because that's putting two of your champions into the same time frame bracket for coming back, like
yeah.
for same recovery bracket.
Yeah, and this
So
is
that
hard.
messes up a
I feel
few
like
more pay-per-views ahead.
that's why Dana I don't really like is the biggest fan. I mean, when it happens, you're glad that it's happening because it's like a freaking Super Bowl type event. But then getting everything to come together is definitely a lot harder when it's two different divisions. They're on two different time frames.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot.
I have a few more. We already talked about Evloev and Ilya, all that, because I think that's the best test for him right now. Like, I mean, just him fighting Volk again. It just doesn't feel right. Like it feels like Volk's
Yeah.
going in there just to get knocked out again, and we're wasting more time for him to lose the title. But anyways, then I got Aljo versus Brian Ortega. I really would like to see that after Evloev loss of Aljo and Brian Ortega's loss to Diego.
Yeah.
Them two fighting each other. If
Makes a
Brian
lot of
Ortega
sense.
stays in lightweight or featherweight.
Yeah, because he's talked about going up too.
But yeah, I don't think Brian Ortega should go up, and I think he should fight Aljo. And then if he loses to Aljo, I think Brian Ortega should wrap it the fuck up, honestly.
He had a good
And
run for a while.
I have Bryce Mitchell versus Calvin Cater. I think that would be a good
Yeah.
fight.
We've talked about that one before.
I have Lerone Murphy versus Arnold Allen. I think that would be a next step up for Lerone Murphy. And Arnold Allen is a very tough opponent. So that would be a good stepping stone for him.
Yeah.
And then that's all I got for featherweight.
Okay, lightweight. I think the big one obviously is coming up is Islam versus Arman.
Yep.
That's like that could affect what happens to like I have Ilya going up to lightweight, that could affect that, or also I have Islam going up to 170. So like Islam loses, does he want the rematch at 170 or at 155, or is he done with 155? He was the champion, he defended it, he wants to go up to 170. And I feel like that could have a lot to do with what happens with Bilal and Shavkat, because I'm assuming that'll be the fight to make next. And I don't know if Islam will fight Bilal because of personal reasons, like you know what I mean, they're friends.
I would love to see Makachev versus Shavkat. I think Makachev would get it easily.
So like Shavkat beat Bilal, obviously, and then Islam go up and fight Shavkat.
Do we really see Shavkat beating Bilal though?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real here.
I do.
Like, I think Bilal's just gonna hug him the entire time.
It's okay. Shavkat can be held because he can choke him back.
Okay. All right.
Shavkat's not scared to get on the. That'll be the thing.
Ian Gary tried to hold him the whole time.
Shavkat will be the one also shooting takedowns. Like, it won't just be Bilal being able to shoot. It'll be Bilal shoot and Bilal defend. You know what I mean? And then the scramble. Shavkat's good at scrambling. He's strong. Yeah. I mean, the champions in the matchups between featherweight to welterweight right now, like, are all playing together very well. But also for lightweight, I got Dustin, Justin, Charles, Max, or Dan. Any of those combination of fighters, any of them can fight each other. And I feel like I'd be okay with it, honestly. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, and Dan Hooker, all of those dudes are like the generation of the lightweights that have been killing it for a long time. And most of them would be rematches again, but I mean, they're just exciting fights. Yeah, any of those names to mix them together would be crazy. Another one I got is Patty versus who, like we were talking about, Patty versus Chandler. If that one's real, that'd be a good one. He's hinted at it, and I feel like Patty versus Chandler would be a good fight. It'd be a good challenge. It'd be a good challenge for Patty, and it's also
Chandler needs a fucking win.
Yeah, he needs to win. Like, because so far the only person he's been beaten is Tony
Dan Hooker.
Well, yeah, but he beat. I mean,
he KO'd Dan Hooker, and then he beat Tony by KO.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Yeah, I was about to say he don't have. It's been granted losses to good people, but still a lot of losses. And
is Patty ready for Michael Chandler though? If that fight does happen,
that's the question.
How quick he did Bobby Green? I think he's ready.
Come on, let's be serious. That was Bobby Green.
Michael Chandler sucks though.
Yeah,
and you were right. Like, his accolades right now aren't looking, the best. So I mean,
all he's got is he's basically just making money off of fight of the nights from losses.
Yeah,
he puts himself in danger on purpose.
But this would still be Patty's. Well, I'm not gonna say it would be, but I would say it can be Patty's biggest fight of his career.
I think it definitely will be.
So that would definitely be.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's like Chandler's just trying to win the seat at the top. He's going for the title, but at the same time, he's like the dude that'll go stick his head out there for you, just punch him 4 or 5 good times just so he can prove that he can stand there and take it. And then,
but yeah, Patty's been a stand-up guy and a ground guy now.
He's been able to hit you both ways. So
it would be good to see. They're both that kind of guy right now, the stand-up and ground guy. So that would be good to see them matched up. Honestly, and it would be a good chance for Chandler to get a win and a good chance for Patty to prove that he deserves to be up in the top of the division.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
And if I was Patty going into this fight, I'd probably set my sight on trying to keep it on the ground, because I would not want to stand and fight Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler could knock him the fuck out. Yeah,
exactly.
We seen him smoke Charles Oliveira in that last fight, and that was close.
He'd have to keep distance and then try to get in tight with the grappling and stuff when he can.
Yeah.
The last one I had at lightweight, which a fight that is scheduled that I'm excited to see coming up soon is Money Moicano is fighting Beneil Dariush.
Dariush.
Yep, that's going to be a good one coming up. I'm excited to see Money Moicano come back.
He's training with Dustin Poirier.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think Moicano's going to try to knock Dariush out. That'd probably be the best bet.
I can
We've
see
seen it time after time again lately. Charles Oliveira, Arman Saryukian.
Yep.
It's been just KO loss after KO loss. But for my lightweights, I have a few actually. I got Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. It's a fight we've been wanting to see.
Yeah.
They're both good on the ground. They're both good at standing. I think that'd be a great fight. Even though Gamrot just lost to Dan Hooker, who knows? Maybe that was just not his night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes it don't matter who's the better fighter. It's who's the better fighter that night.
Yeah. So I think Charles versus Gamrot is something I would like to see in 2025. They're both at the top of the division and both have almost the same skills. So it would be great to see who's the top between those two guys. I also have Holloway versus Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. I'd like to see that in 2025. Dustin Poirier had a shot versus Justin Gaethje, got knocked out. But Dustin Poirier has 2 wins over Holloway. Holloway just knocked out Justin Gaethje, and we all know that MMA math doesn't work.
It
Doesn't add up. So I believe Holloway versus Dustin Poirier would be an excellent fight to make for the BMF title. Next, I have Hooker versus Gaethje. We've heard rumors that this one's going to be scheduled, but it's not set in stone. But I would love to see that fight. The way Hooker fought Dustin Poirier, he literally just got slaughtered, but stood in front of him, fought like a war the whole time. I think Hooker and Gaethje could be possible fight of the year for 2025, possibly.
Always with them names.
Yeah, so it would be, I really want to see that one. Next, I'd have Patty versus Chandler. I do really want to see that fight ever since it's been stirring around lately. I just think those two, it would be great for both of them. Patty for a step up, Chandler for a win.
For sure.
And I don't know who would win it. You know what I mean? It'd be great. Next, I have Fiziev versus Poirier. They both lost to Gaethje recently, so I would love to see them get in there and fight. I think Fiziev versus Poirier would be a fucking war, just like Fiziev versus Gaethje was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that would be an excellent fight to make. I know that they already have Fiziev fighting Gamrot, which is my next one. Gamrot versus Fiziev 2. Because in the first one, Fiziev broke his knee or whatever in that first fight to Gamrot, so he's got it down as a loss. It'd be great to see him come back and get a win over Gamrot, like proving that bone break was just the only thing that got him the loss. I have Jalen Turner versus Benoit Saint Denis. I think that would be a great fight to make for both of them at this point in time. They're both coming off some losses. I think Benoit Saint Denis could get it done over Jalen Turner, but also, I don't know, Jalen Turner might be hungry for a win after these losses, and he might come in and get it done. And then my last one for the lightweight division, I have Money Moicano versus Michael Chandler. I would like to see that fight happen in 2025.
I'm ready to see anything with Money Moicano in it. I'm ready to see that dude fight.
Yeah. Because, Dariush is cool and all, but I don't see that fight.
It's the old guard versus the new guard.
Second.
Yeah.
I don't see it going to the second round. I think Moicano is going to finish him, and then it'll be a quick turnaround for Moicano, and I think he could go fight Chandler, and that'd be a good one. Next, we have welterweight. Who you got for
Uh,
welterweight?
Welterweight, the couple we already talked about Shavkat and Bilal. I think that'll be the fight that's next. I don't know how you don't make it next. The only thing that don't make that fight next is if for some reason Bilal has another injury or this injury seems to not let him come back
They're
anytime
stripping him.
soon. Yeah, I
They're
mean
stripping him.
something would have to happen, give an interim title or something. But then I got Usman. I want to see Kamaru Usman versus Jack Della Maddalena. I think that'd be a good test for him. JDM's looked pretty good. He just beat Gilbert Burns. Usman coming off a loss to Hamzat Chimaev, and that was at 185. He went up a weight class,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, for that. Yeah.
Yep.
So come back down to 170, fight JDM. Leon Edwards versus who? I don't know, but I'd like to see Leon back. I mean, I feel like the last time we saw him, he
wasn't there to fight.
He wasn't there to fight. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. Like it was an awful fight time.
Yeah.
Been up all night. Just not. I don't know. He didn't seem like the normal him, which I guess he was losing to Usman. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like dominantly beating him the first time and then got the head kick, but he looked good against Colby and then turn around and against Bilal. He just didn't look like himself. I'd like to see what's next for him. And then I got number 13 ranked Carlos Prates versus who next? I got some options would be I'd like to see him against like Colby, Wonderboy, Gilbert. I want to see him against a big name. I want to see him against somebody in the top, at least top 10. He's 13. I want to see him break into that top 10. I feel like any of those names would be good for him. What you got for welterweight?
For welterweight, I have a few of these. I got Jack Della Maddalena versus Leon Rocky Edwards. That is who I would like to see.
Yeah.
Because Rocky just lost to Bilal. JDM is up in the top division. I think that would be a great fight to make while Shavkat and Bilal are handling their business.
Yep.
We already talked about Shavkat versus Bilal. We need that one to happen, obviously. I have Sean Brady versus Kamaru Usman. I think that's what's next for Sean Brady, and I think that would be what would be next for Kamaru Usman. Sean Brady is like a very strategic fighter. He just beat Gilbert Burns. I think that would be a great step for Brady and a great step to show that Kamaru Usman's still alive in the welterweight division.
Yeah, because he's got to get a win. He's not going to get another title shot without a win.
Exactly.
He did lose as in a different weight class, but at the same time, like you need to get a win to get back up there.
Yeah. I next have Buckley versus Gary. I think that they should redo that fight. I think Joaquin Buckley versus Ian Gary would be a great fight. Buckley would have the knockout power. Ian has the fucking technical ability to get it done. But I think that would be a great fight to make.
Wasn't that fight scheduled or wasn't it Colby
versus
Buckley? Or it was Colby versus Buckley.
Ian versus Buckley. And then Ian got the Shavkat fight and Colby stepped in to fight Buckley.
Yeah.
Next, I have Covington versus Gary. I would like to see Colby and Ian settle their fucking score, especially after seeing Covington fight Buckley and almost get his face ripped off and still keep coming forward and showing us that he wasn't stopping. Him versus Gary would be a great fight. Burns versus Michael Morales. Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. I've heard talks that when Burns comes back, he'll be fighting Michael Morales, which he's the undefeated prospect for the welterweight division right now. I think that would be a great fight, especially with Michael Morales being the up and comer. Gilbert Burns is on a losing streak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It would be great for both of them. If Gilbert Burns gets the win, it'd be good to show that he's still up in the top of the division. If especially if he gets a win over someone that doesn't have any losses.
Yeah.
Next, I have Carlos Prates versus Neal. I want to see Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal really bad. They're both KO artists. I want to see who's the best KO artist of the welterweight division. And that would also be a good fight for Prates because he did just fight Jeff or Neil Magny. So after seeing that, the next step's usually Jeff Neal. So
Yeah.
that'd be a great fight. After that, I have Michael Venom Page versus Wonder Boy. I really want to see that fight. It was, they were talking about it, but it never got made. But it's a great fight. They both have the same kind of style, and I'd love to see who's the best out of those two the style.
We do have, you say Shara, right?
No,
Who'd you
MVP
say?
versus Wonder Boy.
MVP versus Wonder Boy, yeah.
And then my last one, I have Jack Della Maddalena versus Shavkat. I would love to see if Shavkat goes in and loses to Bilal. I would love Shavkat's bounce back fight to be versus Jack Della Maddalena. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah, that'd give Jack a big boost if he was to win that fight because Shavkat
Yeah.
just coming off the title fight, and yeah,
And Jack's good, dude. Jack's
Yeah,
good
he
as fuck.
is.
He can do it. I think he could do it. But yeah, if that scenario happens, Bilal beats Shavkat, I would love to see Shavkat's next fight be with Jack Della Maddalena. That's why I got Jack Della Maddalena versus Leon Edwards. That could be at like the beginning of the year, which I think it might be. They might be doing that as like the main for an upcoming, or maybe the co-main.
what do you got for the middleweight division?
All right. For the middleweight division, the first fight I have would be Jack Hermanson versus Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's coming off a loss to Chris Curtis. Jack Hermanson, I don't think we've seen him fight since he won versus Joe Pfeiffer.
Yeah, it's been a
So
while.
I think that would be the fight to make for both of them, considering the circumstances. After that, I have Paulo Costa versus Jared Cannonier. I would love to see that fight. Paulo Costa is coming off a loss to Sean Strickland. Was that the last? That's the last one he fought. Okay,
For
that's
sure,
what I
yeah.
thought. And
been a
Jared
while since we've
Cannonier
seen
is
him
about
too.
to fight RoboCop, but
Yep.
Paulo Costa usually only fights once a year anyway. So, well, I want to see that by the end of 2025. Next, I have Vittori versus Belize. They're both people that I don't really care for in the middleweight division. So I would love to see them fight to see who's better. They both, I don't know, they got some losses under him. We haven't seen Vittori fight in a while.
Yeah, he's one that I had wrote down too with a question mark on.
But yeah, I would love to see him fight Delize. Delize just came off of a win to Anthony Smith, which was a weird fight, but to come back to the middleweight division, him versus Vittori would be a great fight. Last, I have Robert Whitaker versus Caio Baralho. I think that would be great for Caio Baralho to come and fight Robert Whitaker. They're stylistically almost the same too.
Oh, there's.
I think that'd be a great fight to make Whitaker once he comes back from his jaw, and Caio's willing to put a stamp in the middleweight division. So I'd love to see that fight. And that's all that I got for middleweight.
Middleweight, talk about Strickland and DDP. That one's coming up here very soon. We also got Izzy and Amavov coming up. Hamzat for a title shot. I feel like he'll probably get the winner of Strickland and DDP. I would just in my opinion. And then I see
He's overdue for a title
yeah,
shot.
and then I could see Kaio getting the loser of Izzy and Imavov. That seems like something because he's number 6. Kaio's number 6 right now. For him to keep fighting forward, I feel like the loser of Izzy and Imavov would make sense. And
or maybe the winner to make do a number one contender fight.
yeah, well, I don't know. I just don't see Izzy fighting. I
Because
don't know.
if
Maybe
Hamzat's already set in stone to fight Drinkus next, so they would do Strickland and Drinkus, do this fight, Kaio
Izzy,
versus, or do the Izzy and
Imavov.
Imavov.
Yep.
After that, do
Hamza and
Hamzat and Drinkus, and then have that one, the winner of Kaio versus whoever wins Izzy and Imavov.
Okay, so you're saying, well, like, yeah, you could do like the main event, the winner of Strickland and DDP versus Hamza, and then like the co-main do
co-main as
the
that's what
winner
I'm
of
saying.
Izzy and Amavov versus Kaio. Maybe not the co-main, but on the card somewhere, or like, you know what I mean, around the same time. That way you make sure the winner of that fight, those two fight each other, try to keep them on the same
Then you'd already
timeline.
have it lined up for that. And it would be awesome to see maybe Drinkus Duplessis and Caio Baralio as the Ultimate Fighter, like Fight Nerds and Drinkus Duplessis
That
as
would be good.
2 coaches for the Ultimate Fighter. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, those would be 2 good options. And then yeah, the last one I got for that is Shara, the Bullet, the Pirate, which is MVP. He's fighting MVP coming up soon. I'm excited to see that fight. One. Yep, and he's ranked number 14, so
I think MVP
he's in the top 15.
Get it done.
It'll be a test for him. He's like in the water now. It'll
definitely be a test. Yeah.
Yeah. And he looked crazy with his last knockout, the double spinning back fist. Yeah, elbow forearm, whatever it was.
Yeah, that was fucking nasty.
Yeah, middleweight's definitely a good division to watch right now when it felt like it was stale for so long because Izzy was just reigning at the top for so long. It was just kind of getting boring, but now it's like all kinds of matchups to make. But let's move on to light heavyweight. Light heavyweight, I got Alex versus Magomed. I mean, that's kind of the only person left for them to fight. And then other than that, I mean, he's got to go up to heavyweight is the next option. If he beats Magomed, or even if he don't fight Magomed, I see him going up. Like, what other option does he have? But then we got Yuri and Hill coming up. That's going to be a good fight. That's kind of like a number 1 contenders fight, but at the same time, he's already beat both of those 2. So that
we've been waiting so long for this fight. Like Yuri was supposed to fight Hill, and then Yuri got hurt, and then Yuri came back, and then Jamal got hurt.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting on this fight.
Yeah. That's what she said. That's what she said.
But yeah, we've been waiting.
Remember those memes when he's doing that
time.
shit out in the snow, looking all mysterious. But yeah, we've definitely been waiting on that one for a long time. It was built up, and then one that is coming up, Jan Blachowicz is fighting Olberg coming up soon. It's going to be a good fight. I'm ready to see Jan back, the Polish power. We haven't seen him in a long time. If he can get a good win here, he can put his name right back into that mix with Magomed and Hill and Yuri and all of those dudes. He's literally one good win away. He's already got a win over Izzy, and Izzy, you know what I mean? Like, has the win over Alex. MMA don't make sense, but you know what I mean? Like, he gave Izzy some trouble on the ground. He could probably do the same thing to Alex. And then I'm excited to see Dominic Reyes back.
Who? Jan? Alex and Jan fought.
Did they really?
For the belt.
No, I thought Jan fought
No, it was Alex's first fight in the light heavyweight division was Jan Blachowicz.
You're right. I'm thinking who fought to a draw, and they were like
it was Magomed and Jan.
Magomed and Jan. Okay, that's the fight I was thinking of. You're right. But still, he can with a good win, he can put his name right back in there. But then your point making it more so that it's just going to be another rematch for Alex in another direction, so a better reason to go up. But then, the last one I got for light heavyweight is Dominic Reyes. I'm excited to see him versus somebody. He's looked good.
I have a few for light heavyweight. Yeah, I first off have Ankalaev versus Pereira. That's a must. Hill versus Yuri. We already talked about that. That's gonna be a good one. I have Roundtree versus Jan Blachowicz. I think that would be a great fight. Khalil coming off of a close loss. I mean, he did get knocked out, but it was a very good fight. Like he didn't show any signs of weakness really
Yeah, yeah,
until he did.
yeah.
But I think Roundtree versus Blachowicz would be a great fight if
That would make
Jan
sense
beats
too. Jan
Olberg.
wins. Yeah, Jan beats Oldberg, who's fighting up. Khalil
Yeah.
Tree just lost. He's fighting down.
Yeah, so I think that would be a great fight for the light heavyweight division. Also, I have Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov. They're both they're both down there. I think that would be a good fight to make for both
He's
of
got
them.
a. I think he's got a fight coming
Guskov,
up soon too.
Walker, yeah, Walker's fighting Guskov, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
after that. And then I have Reyes versus Alexander Rakic. I think that'd be a great fight to make.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I have Smith versus retirement because I'm so fucking tired of seeing Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Yeah. That last one was hard to watch, and I think
Losing to a fucking middleweight and then losing to Reyes, but
yeah,
like in a weird ass
in a
way.
very weird way, he was not there for that fight at all.
But yeah, that's all I have for light heavyweight. Light heavyweight is an excellent division right now. I'd probably say it's in my top 5 faves. Light heavyweight is one I've been watching for a while.
When it did just seem stale, like we were just talking about, even the title fight went to like a draw, and he was like, no.
It was, well, we had Jamal versus Khalil Roundtree. That was the fight that was set.
Mm-hmm.
And then Khalil got whatever suspended for something like PEDs or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, he got the company he gets his supplements from gave him his supplements. They delivered them. He took them, didn't think nothing about it. They called him like an hour or two later and was like, don't take those. And he's like, why? I already took them. And they told him that there was some shit in there that they shouldn't have given him. They fucked up. So then he immediately called the UFC and was like, hey, my supplement company just called me. They just told me they fucked up. They gave me some stuff that they weren't supposed to give me. I'll drug test right now. He's like, I'm just letting you know. And
we'll say unfortunate circumstances.
It was bad. Yeah, he had to get like he was like, I was on the phone with the UFC and my supplement company, like whoever he's using, his nutritionist, I guess,
yeah,
would be. He's like, we were on the phone for hours with the UFC just trying to get it all figured out. And like, but the commission still has rules. And I guess what he failed for wasn't even a PED. It was more like a recovery type of thing, like helps you recover faster or something. But it wasn't even.
Yeah.
He took it one time. You know what I mean? It's not like it was enough to even start activating in his body to like.
But hey, it ended up working out for him.
Yeah,
it worked out.
Put him into a title shot. Yeah.
He went from fighting Jamal to Jamal fighting Carlos Ulberg to that fight not even happening to him getting the title shot, and then him showing that he belongs up there because of all he put it on Alex for a minute, and then before he didn't, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, last but not least, the big one.
The heavyweight division.
The heavyweights. I think the one that's at the top of the hour that everyone's thinking about, the one that people want to see more than anything right now is
Jones versus Aspinall.
For sure. Jones is being hesitant about it. Aspinall's acting like it's going to be a done deal. Jones don't want that fight. He said he would give up his belt before he took that fight. Like, I don't know. He's playing hard to get. Like, I guess he always does. But yeah, that's like my main one that I have down for heavyweight. The only other thing I have at heavyweight is where the hell is Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa been? I feel like they were so fun to watch there for a while. They were like knocking people out, celebrating, doing some crazy stuff. Doing Shoe is taking their pants off. And yeah, now it both seems like they've just been non-existent here recently, at least this past year.
I don't know.
And,
It's like Derek Lewis. You'll see him, he'll lose, and then he'll get a big KO.
yeah, and then
But
you won't see him again for a while.
Ty went from big KO to
Yeah,
loss.
like 4 in a
So
row now.
Derek Lewis, I see Derek Lewis being, and he's got like most KOs or whatever.
He's the
So
knockout king. Yeah.
yeah, so he's cemented into the UFC.
Yeah, I
Ty,
don't think he's going nowhere. I just want to know, like, where's he at? Like, when are you fighting some more? Like,
yeah, yeah, that too.
I'd like
He'll
to
probably
see
get
him.
scheduled something soon.
Yeah, he likes them paychecks. Yeah, what'd you got for heavyweight?
For heavyweight, we already talked about Jones and Aspinall. I have Gane versus the winner of Spivak and Almeida.
Yeah,
After Gane coming off of some say a stole loss of or stole win to Volkov, I think the winner of Spivak and Almeida will be a great fight for him to. I don't think he should go fight Jones or Aspinall. I think that's stupid. You know what I mean? Because Aspinall would destroy Gane, and Jones already did. So,
yeah, Jones already did. Yeah,
and then yeah, that's all for that one. I have Tuivasa versus Shamil Gaziv. I think, yeah, Shamil Gaziv would stand with Tuivasa, and that would be a good fight to show if Tuivasa still got it or if he needs to hang it up because he can't be the Tony Ferguson of the heavyweight division.
have they done Derek versus Ty?
Yeah, Ty. The first time Ty knocked him out with the elbow against the
Yeah,
cage.
you're right. You're right. He slumped him. I remember.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe throw that one in the mix again. Tuivasa, Derek Lewis too.
Since
The way they are right now, I think
Yeah,
maybe Derek Lewis
since
would bring
Derek
it.
Lewis has just come off a knockout and then Ty's been declining, so why
Losing.
not put him back in there with someone he already beat once? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
see
think
if
they're
maybe
both
he could
more
do it.
than they're both more just names at this point than they are like contenders in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I got Tuivasa and Gazib because I think Gazib would KO Tuivasa,
Build
and then it would
himself up.
put him
Yeah.
in the way to get Tuivasa
Yep.
out of there. And my last one for heavyweight, I have Volkov versus Blades 2. With Volkov coming off of a loss to Gane, Blades coming off of a loss to Aspinall. I think Volkov versus Blades 2 would be the fight to make. Volkov's been looking fucking excellent lately. Curtis Blades, he's coming off a loss to Aspinall, and he has a win over
I
Aspinall.
think Blades has a match scheduled already. I think for
Who's he
first couple
fighting?
months. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he has one scheduled.
He should. I mean, after coming off a first round KO to fucking Aspinall, he didn't really do much. He should have a quick turnaround. But yeah, Volkov versus Blades 2 would be fucking sick to see.
Next fight, Curtis Blades versus Kunivev.
I don't know who that is.
Kuniev. Kuniev. Heavyweight Seattle, Washington. Yeah, that's his next fight coming up. Rizvan Kuniev. So not anyone that's ranked, I don't think. The dude's 12, 2, and 1. He's a 2-22 favorite.
But yep, that's all I got for heavyweights. I got the 5 only UFC draws just to throw in here for a closer. BJ Penn versus Cal Uno Cal Uno 2, the second time they fought at UFC 41, February 28th, 2003. Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard, UFC 125. Woodley versus Wonderboy, UFC 205. That was November 12th, 2016. Figgy versus Moreno, UFC 256, December
Remember that one.
12th, 2020. Jan versus Ankalaev, UFC 282, December 10th, 2022. And Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso 2, September 16th, 2023. We have 5 draws in the UFC history, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's random. There's not very many of them at all. It's rare that they go like that.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. We only got 5 out of the entire time that the UFC has been around. And we've actually got 2 almost within a year span there.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Jan. Yeah, that was 12, 10, 22. Yeah, that was within a year because hers was September 16th, 23. So within a year period, we got 2 draws.
That's wild. But cool. That's
another
episode.
Another episode of All Impact No Filter. Tune in. We'll be doing live watch parties, and we will have some football pods coming to you and some more UFC pods coming to you.
Watch parties January 11th. Mackenzie Dern is back. And who's she fighting?
Amanda Ribas.
Ribas, yeah. Kenzie
we also
Dern
got
versus
a
Ribas.
couple good ones on there. We got Grant Dawson fighting.
Yep.
We have
he's on the prelims
Ponzinibbio
too.
fighting. We got a bunch of good people fighting. It's not really a banger card, but
it's fights. I'm happy there's fights back.
Yeah, at this point, anything, I'm excited to see anything. So yeah, stay tuned. Come check us out. We'll be doing the live watch parties, and we'll have a couple more pods.
Yep. Find the watch party on YouTube or Facebook. We're going to try to be live on both. Follow us on both. Make sure you, Steven, do your thing.
Like and subscribe to the video. It helps us out tremendously. Also, catch tomorrow night's game, Lions versus Vikings. That is a big game tomorrow night. Also, in the comments, give us your, predictions on all the fights that we talked about tonight. Give us the predictions on Super Bowl and the playoffs, and also give your predictions on the college football playoffs and on who will win that. I know I didn't talk much this pod. I don't know much about UFC. I just started watching UFC maybe a year or 2 ago, so I'm going to try and get more involved. So thank you and good night.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Think they got it locked? Well, I think I got it picked. 24/7, all I ever drop is hits. Never clocking out, I'm forever on my shift. I'm a ball till I fall, till they put me in my crib.
We gotta believe, we gotta be mentally strong. When we tired, that's when we gotta put our fundamentals together. That's when we gotta be more focused. When we tired, that should give you more effort. Be like, I'm gonna beat his ass. Everybody's great when they're not tired. The champions is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out. Cause if you go piss like a puppy, stay on the porch and let the